You're welcome back to the Cocoa Digest Morning Show. If you're just tuning in, this is the Cocoa Digest Morning Show, and we're about to have our online news review with two of my co-hosts in the persons of Miss Miriam Abnadidi and Mr. Clement Yaban Kwe. Good morning, my lady and gentlemen.
Good morning, Yaira.
Good morning, Yaira.
How are we doing? It's a beautiful brand new week, salary week too.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm just sitting down, looking all cutie, looking all mindful, demoralizing myself this morning because, the weekend is just, few days away and it is coming with some cash.
Yeah.
Clement, why are you looking at me? Are you not happy?
I'm so happy.
Yes.
Yaira, Mimi is looking very beautiful.
Yes.
I must say.
Oh, God, where did I sleep today?
She's looking very beautiful. And we've had a long weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And then what fake Cocoa Digest though?
My fake Cocoa Digest. Because me cocoa.
I get it.
I see.
I know viewers too have missed it.
Yeah,
Yes,
especially Obiba. He has really missed us.
Yes,
okay.
That being said, please don't forget to send in your comments to our WhatsApp number or our Facebook or YouTube live stream. We'll read them aloud here on the show. We really appreciate your comments, so please don't stop sending them. Yes, back to our recounts about the weekend and plans for the future.
God has been so good. I traveled over the weekend to Takrady.
Okay.
And Sunday morning, I was supposed to return on Sunday. Sunday morning, I was in the house, that's in Takrady, and there was a news in the media space that an accident occurred Takrady Cape Coast Highway, and 5 people lost their life instantly.
Oh.
One thing I told myself was that, what if I was part of such incident?
Of course.
What I just want to say is God has been so grateful. And as the song that was just played says that God is good.
Yeah.
And forever and ever he is good. So we just want to tell our viewers that let's just trust and hope in God. He's the only person who can see us through. Maybe we might have our own plans for the day, but always the plans of God supersede any other plan.
Oh, exactly.
That is the only thing I would say.
Wow.
That being said, I think it's time for Ofechi.
So we have motivational quotes and then we have slides preaching.
Yes.
See, start your day right with Cocoa Digest.
Yeah, over the weekend, there are lots of things happened in Ghana, especially in the political space. And we all know the National Democratic Congress launched their manifesto in Winneba.
Yes.
That was, I think, Saturday. Yeah. And I have to commend them in terms of organization, in terms of crowd, in terms of colors, in terms of everything was beautiful. I mean, it was nice. And, former presidents raised a few policies that they intend to do within their first 100 days when they come into power. Yeah. And it had, scrapping of, I think, 3 taxes, some of the taxes we have now, the emissions tax, the COVID-19 tax, and also e-levy tax. And then you're going to provide free fees for first-year tertiary students and also free sanitary pad, free tertiary education for disabled people. I mean, some of the policies were very laudable. A lot of people were happy. But my main concern is, are the frees not too many? Like, the free. Are they not a lot?
When you come to economics, we have what we call, there's nothing like free lunch in economics.
Exactly.
So anything that we see as free, tomorrow or tomorrow next, we will pay for it in one way or the other. Yeah, so maybe they have plans put in place to provide or cater for such free expenses they are going to incur.
But Clement, I don't like the fact that it looks like maybe you are trying to play with Ghanaians, introducing the word free, because the moment you say something is free, we know we are not going to pay anything. We are in this country where the other political party, New Patriotic Party, said they were going to offer free senior high school education for everyone. And then in return, our students or our children or our sisters, brothers, still had to pay something when they got to school, right? So it wasn't free at all.
Yeah. So that's
And
why I
then
said
we
in
all know
economics.
the economic crisis
Sure.
this particular policy brought to the country, right? In the long run, we had to, introduce new taxes to, bridge that gap that free SHS has brought in the system. So I think they really need to, come out very clean, honest to Ghanaians. Oh, we just said free, but I mean, it is not entirely free. This and this is what you are going to do. And I also have another problem with these political parties and their policies. I feel they are way, way, way far from
detached from the
you get it, the ordinary Ghanaian. Most of the policies seems to be up there, and then Ghanaians are down there.
Yeah.
The systems are not working. People need money. Their pockets are dry.
I think that most of these political parties seem to have a tactic. There are certain words or certain words, keywords that when used get the attention of the masses. Like free. So I think even with the NDC, we are having this whole free things. With the MPP, it's all about digitalization,
Exactly.
everything. And it seems to be catching people's attention so much. And I just hope that our political parties are not looking at just campaign strategies, but they are looking at things that are going to be beneficial to us. Because I think, was it yesterday or 2 days ago, there was a meet the press for the incumbent party right now, also campaigning. And there were so many things, so many comments actually about all the most of the responses that the flag bearer was giving. And the one that the one that stood out to me was something about if you do it now, what would you do then? But
so
then
he was
your party is in power, so why
to
not?
do something, and he was like, if he should do everything now that he's a vice president, what is he going to do when he becomes a president?
Yeah, so
And why would I still want to understand the rationale behind that
with
comment.
this, I think I followed one media house. They were having an interview with the former information minister, currently the minister for housing. Yes. That's Honorable Kojo Pongkoma. And the host asked the same question. He made a statement, and this is what he said. He said, when it comes to governance, the current flag bearer is a vice president, and anything he proposed out there can either be accepted or rejected. That was his basis for argument. So he made a point that since he being a vice president doesn't mean that anything he proposed needs to be accepted. That is why he's coming with these policies and stuff. And I remember the host was like, you are the head of the economic management team.
Yes.
And the Honorable Minister said, yes. And he used himself an example that he is part of the cabinet. When they go for cabinet meeting, sometimes he proposes certain things. Not all is accepted. That was the argument. That was his basis. But I am notwithstanding, we've heard a lot from both political parties. We are looking at how feasible all these policies are. That is my major concern. When you look at the NDC, as he said, they said a lot about the education sector, what they want to do in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the teachers and all this kind of stuff. Yes, it's all good policies, as you said, but how feasible are they?
Yeah,
exactly.
That is what we are looking at moving
for me,
forward.
my problem with Ghanaians is the obsession with new things. I've even heard in some interviews where, some of the hosts are asking, so what new thing are you bringing? But have we sat down to look at even the old
things?
How much of it has even been improved upon? Because if we are to trace all the way back to independence, there are so many things that were put in place that if they had been bettered, some policies would not be needed now. But every time, new things, we want something new. You've already done this, but you haven't bettered it. Look at our education system. Look at our agricultural system. Every day, like right now, even the education system, for example, if it was bettered, something like digitalization would not even have to become a campaign topic or subject for people. It would not be bait because we would have actually gotten up there. We would have actualized to be able to. But now, how many people are even going to be able to fully benefit from everything going e-cash, e-this, e-that.
That
How many
is why
people?
I was saying that it looks like most of the policies are detached from the ordinary Ghanaian. They don't really know what is happening on grounds. They don't know what is happening to, people, citizens, education. The other time we raised concerns about the basic education. Look at the state of our basic education in this country. It's like we've neglected our basic education, but we always forget that before someone will get to secondary school,
They have to go through
so
basic
I mean,
education.
it is just prayers.
It is what?
No,
It
it's
is
not
what?
prayers. We have to be proactive. We have to
Yeah.
employ common sense. And I think our political parties and our leaders should stop listening to the new. Look, everybody likes shiny things.
Yeah.
But if the old is there, something like if we had this culture of bettering whatever the previous government has started, something like our housing or our education, our whatever projects, if we better them, instead of leaving them to rot and incur more cost on us, we will go somewhere, wouldn't we? What's new thing? What do you want new
I also
things
think the National Democratic Congress also has, an upper hand if only they were able to understand the things the people complained about when they were in power, to better them, as you are saying. That would have helped them, win a lot of votes as compared to.
You see, with even that, some people, like the citizens, as much as you may think in theory it will give them an upper hand, some citizens here will say, they are not coming to do anything new.
Exactly.
A MPP and they will make those comments, even though they will benefit. And I just wish that our leaders will stop looking at those things, because at the end of the day, it is for you, it's for me, it's for even them, their children to benefit. So if they look away from the comments and whether it will give them votes and do what they need to benefit this country, the votes will come. Because with time, people will see that, this is a good thing they are doing. It's helping us. Maybe one party started a certain road, maybe 500 meters. The next party has come to continue it. Who do you think will be trusted with something better for the
and
future?
That is one thing a lot of
I
people
think
have with
this kind of discussion, if we should continue, it might take the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we would need to have a better time to delve deeper into matters like
do
this.
that on social media. Don't worry.
Okay, so we have a comment from our dearest, our very own Obiba Wilson. He says, "Good morning, guys. It's another day, and we look forward to hearing great news from unexpected sources. Stay blessed, Obiba Wilson." Thank you, Obiba Wilson, for your comment. And then we also have Ohima Luki says, "Nice motivational quotes. Good morning, Coco Digest team." And then Obiba Wilson again says, "Good morning to you. I'm very happy for your lives. We are very happy for your life too." Thank you so much for sending in your comment. So yes, aside what happened over the weekend, any gist for us, please?
You see, the other time, I think Thursday, when we sat here, we spoke about the drought that was happening in the northern part of the country, and we, tried to look at how we were going to mitigate that problem. I think Parliament has, come out to... Yesterday, there was a ban on exports of grains, products from the country to other countries. And I think it's something that we need to commend government on. I mean, we should protect and save the little we have till maybe the issue is being solved. Then we can see the way forward. But a lot of people have also raised concerns because, there are stakeholders, people benefit from exporting these grains. How are they going to survive and all those things? But my only joy is the fact that we are having some form of food security for our people, because we know about 80% of the grains we use here are from the upper part of the country. Yes. And so if there is a drought happening there, I don't think it is something that we need to, sit and watch everything destroy. So I think it's a good thing that they've placed a ban on such exports.
Yeah, so I think the same matter, because the last time it was, we talked with so much passion, to an extent that there was this Burkina Faso dam spillage, and we were like, the Ghana Irrigation Authority need to involve themselves in such.
Suggested that
yes, that kind of...
We take the people there with...
Yes. So you see, this issue, it's really need to look at, as you said, because 62%, according to Ministry of Food and Agriculture, 62% of grains come from the northern parts, which are affected by this issue that we have. And it's not only about a temporary ban of exporting of grains, but they're also looking at the fact that they are going to go into the reserve of ECOWAS grains. We have ECOWAS grains reserve. Okay. They are also going into that and also collaborate with private sectors to import about 300,000 metric tons of maize. Let me get the figures right. And also, so 300 metric tons of maize and 150,000 metric tons of rice into the country, so that they'll help solve the situation of insecurity in food. And aside that too, the ministry is also, they've introduced initiative of cash transfer to the affected farmers. And as at yesterday, the confirmed total number of farmers confirmed was 435,872.
Wow.
Farmers, they were confirmed that they have been affected by such incidents. 435,872 farmers. Yes. And out of all these, we have almost half of 1.8 million hectares of land which were affected by this drought, which is almost 900,000 hectares of land. And in terms of cash transfer for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, they are saying that they are going to give a farmer per hectare 1,000 Ghana cedis as compensation, at least, to compensate you for the loss. It's laudable, it's good, but in the long run, the person has lost so much. The person has lost so much. So I was, as finance man, I was doing some slight calculation in this, because if over half of 1.8 million hectares of land is destroyed or has been affected by this, and you are paying each hectare 1,000 Ghana cedis. So it means you're looking for an amount of 900 million Ghana cedis, which is going to such compensation alone. Before we look at the aspects of the money we are going to use for import and other activities that we need to do. But a lot of concern has been raised, it's true, because these are temporal measures. What is the long term? What are we looking at long term? Are we still going to sit down for this drought issue to happen again? So we will go through this same process as we are going through? Or what is the ministry bringing up? That is the concern. What is the ministry bringing up? We shouldn't always sit down for us to be affected as this. Before we come out with plans, we are banning exports of maize. Peasant farmers have raised concern, especially the president of Peasant Farmer, Dr. Charles. He said that this issue is going to affect the market of grain in Ghana because their prices is not going to go high. And they'll be forced to price the commodity to an essence that they'll either break even or run at a loss. And Yaira, it's so bad, as we said, because moving forward, governments need to have long-term plan in this. And Yaira, it would baffle your mind that farmers invested almost 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Per the data from Ministry of Food and Agriculture, almost 3.5 billion Ghana cedis was invested in such projects, and they've lost everything. And this project is supposed to give us a revenue of 10.4 billion Ghana cedis. So just imagine what we are losing.
So my question is, when the drought started, right, were they not aware that it was going to destroy their... So they could raise concerns, as farmers and even the ministry. So, like, they would have been proactive in, calling for help or something.
Well, it could also be that the way our weather has become unpredictable, the Harmattan season or dry season and rainy season seems to be switching every year. Because I think we started getting rains a little earlier in some years, a little later in others. So maybe they were thinking, oh, this is one of those things. With time it will come, and then it didn't.
But I mean, this is something they've been doing for years. They should have also, thought about the future, the likely...
I think it brings our attention to the meteorological centers to be able to work, to give us information as to when to start expecting rains, weather forecast and the rest.
For that, I think we should commend them, because this year they've been apt with giving us information on that.
We are here in Accra. We don't know about, the places up north and things like that. So of course, Accra, everything is here, so to
Yeah.
speak. So we will be getting these kinds of info. But what about up north?
Yeah.
How many people even have access to TVs or radios or even the internet
Yeah, I was
to
reading
know
about
those
to
things?
talk about that.
So there could be that problem too.
But I think on the issue of compensation, I think government, in a way has tried because, I mean, looking at the number of farmers that have been affected and given each 1,000 Ghana cedis, I think,
That's
government...
per hectare. That one is
Per
just
hectare of
per
land.
So if,
So if you have-
happen to have 20, it's going
Oh.
to be 1,000 times 20.
So I think...
Yes. So then the onus lies on the farmers to invest that money properly.
how
To
do
make
they invest
But,
it?
but
Because they've lost everything.
when you go into farming, if you've done farming small, you get to understand that 1,000 Ghana cedis.
it's
to
not
start-
much. Yes, I get
Yes,
it. But
yes,
even with the investment, it should not necessarily be just related to the farming things. It could be getting that to put that money somewhere that tomorrow when you face an issue like this, it can cushion you.
Yeah.
There are so many avenues to invest in because if you are a farmer, you've gotten all this money and you say I've lost everything, so I must eat. You finish eating or empty hands. Would you look to the because there are people likely going to behave like that.
But
I hope you are aware.
my major concern is this thing should be very transparent. It should be very transparent. If we don't want to hear a situation moving forward that this person who said, I didn't get anything, this one said, we don't want that to issue.
Yeah, so
the
transparency
ministry-
on the recipients and
Yes,
then
and the ministry
the
too.
givers as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
So,
yes.
It is well.
well, we are hoping to hear. I mean, for us, there's only hope we can hope.
Oh, but even with the issue
And
of
then Mimi's
investment,
prayers.
with the issue of investments, I think if the farmers are not able to invest and then there is any job opportunity or entrepreneurship skill they can learn with that amount of money they have, I think they can venture into that so they can have something
Yeah.
doing
Or even for
till-
crop rotation too.
Yes.
Yes,
I mean, you
crop
have
rotation.
how many hectares of land? I don't think it is wise to use all of it for just one crop.
One crop, yeah.
Have some division. Even if you invest in a little animal husbandry, rear a few goats here and there.
This one is mass production.
Yes.
When
Hey,
it comes to
maybe-
farming and you do it on mass production, farmers will tell you that that's where they get money from.
Oh.
But when you talk about their crop rotation and mixed cropping, that's, let's say this season you cultivate maize. The next season you look at other things.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yes.
But when it comes to mixed cropping, sometimes you don't get much from what you
So
invested.
it's not about.
That's-
You see, I'm saying that you can use 2/3 for your mass production to get, and then use the little left. Because with this animal husbandry, based on what I remember from school, the refuse, or let me say the dung from the animals, is fertilizer. Some of the crops dying, you can make your compost. All those things, you are helping yourself. It's so they shouldn't just be myopic. That's all I'm saying. Open your mind a little to more opportunities.
They've heard you, Yaira.
They've heard you.
My uncle is watching.
Yes,
Heard you.
so please.
Me myself, I'm going to find land and start. Yes.
Oh, but I think moving forward, we will get the Ministry of Agriculture to speak more to this
Yeah,
matter.
yeah,
Okay,
Yes.
that's also cool. So yes, what's next?
Okay, so we have online news from the Daily Graphic. Today's Daily Graphic is going to be displayed on the screen with the headlines.
Okay.
But let me read my story from page 11 of
Okay.
the Daily Graphic. And it says, President inaugurates Tema Motorway School Junction Road Project. So President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has inaugurated the 6-kilometer School Junction Tema Motorway Road Project to enhance road infrastructure and improve economic activities in the Greater Accra region. Now, the dual carriageway, which was inaugurated yesterday, includes service lanes on both sides, 1.60 kilometer stadium access road, Tema Motorway slip routes, walkways, cycling lanes, among others. Now, the project, which was executed by an investment company, is intended to help reduce travel time, lower transportation costs, mitigate flooding, and enhance road safety in areas such as Ashalibutre, School Junction, and Boteman, leading to the motorway. Now, on issues on delivering promises, during the inauguration, the president said the completion of the project embodied the strong resolve to deliver on the promises and ensure that the fruit of the government was felt by every citizen. He also said the strategic connection was not merely about transportation, but also about bridging communities, enhancing economic growth, and creating new opportunities for prosperity. He went on and on to talk about, the benefits the road is going to provide for the people. And lastly, for his part, the Minister of Roads and Highway, Francis Asenso-Boakye, also said before this project, commuters from Tema to Boteman, School Junction, Ashali-Boche, Adenta, and beyond faced significant challenges, including poor accessibility, inadequate connectivity between communities, and increased travel times due to the poor state of the previous routes. He said the rainy season would turn sections of the road into impassable stretches, further worsening the difficulties faced by road users. And he says, and I quote, "Today, I say with all humility that these challenges are now behind us. The School Junction to Motorway Road project was carefully designed to address these issues comprehensively." So finally, the long-awaited Tema Motorway School Junction project has been inaugurated, completed.
It has been completed.
Yeah.
We thank God.
Yeah. So President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has this to his credit. He has also,
So, Mimi, I'll use this opportunity also to remind or to let the President or the Minister of Roads and Highways know that there are a lot of road projects currently which has been, I don't know whether it's halted or it's stopped.
Yeah.
We should try as much as we can to complete such projects, because I know that before they commence every project, there is a budget for it.
Yeah.
So we don't know why some projects,
and then they are not able to complete.
because currently when you go to Takrady over the weekends, they are constructing what do you call overpass and I don't know, it has been halted for a while. Yes, when they are doing a project in Takrady Market Circle too, it's been a while.
Project.
Yes, it's been a while, and we have just 3 to 4 months to election. So the question now comes: what if there is change in government and the next government fails to complete it?
Yeah.
What are the people in the Takrady going to do?
And I'm even scared for Pokwasi Masamai people. Well,
these are the issues that the government need to look at it very well before December 7th elections.
I even wish every year was election year.
Get it.
So that they are on their toes. Because they want the votes, they will do the needful. Because it seems as if it's only in this year that we've seen a lot of things starting to pick up.
Yeah.
Like all these projects you've mentioned, it shouldn't be surprising if we start to hear that, the project has recommenced again and things like that. So, at the end of the day, it is a good thing and all of that. But what is happening between our stakeholders involved in these projects? Why do we hear that the project has been halted and some contractor has done this or somebody has run away with the money and things like that? That is where we should also be looking at, because sometimes maybe the government's heart is in the right place, but then the people contracted to do this job are the ones who are probably embezzling the money or misappropriating the funds.
Yeah.
And this is something we need to look at, because I think this project has been around for a while.
Wow, yeah.
Look at how long it has taken. And yet, I've seen videos, not that I'm comparing these countries to Ghana, but I think, I don't remember the particular country. It should be Japan or Spain, one of these Western countries or out there, and they fixed a hole in the road within 4 days.
Wow.
Yes. And so the video is a time lapse of everything going on. And it's also nice to watch. Wow. A hole, I think a sinkhole, it fell in or something. They filled it up, did everything. Within 4 days, the road was passable again. But for us here,
it is well.
It is well. We are glad, at least, we have yet another good road put in place. We hope that it is also of good quality and will not start falling apart within a few months. And then our citizens too should not go and be stealing boats and things off the roads to go and sell.
Yeah.
Yes, let's have that maintenance culture in us.
Yeah.
It's our country. Everything here is for us. Yes.
Yeah, I have a graphic business.
Okay.
But before I go into graphic, I just want to say something. I don't know, but the last time I was here, I made mention of River Pra
Yeah.
in Takrady, Biposi Road, Bayera. If you travel to Takrady, those who are watching us from Takrady will testify that River Pra is currently dirty. The word I should use is dirty. Not say, like, I am poto. Let me use that fancy word. Very dirty.
Yeah.
But those days, this river, we drink, we bath, you can't do anything.
Fish even.
I was in a car with one white man. The man was like, is this water? And I was surprised because it's very dirty. Very dirty. So please, we still want government and those people involved in the activities, at least sometimes to...
Is it illegal mining activities?
I think so. It will be illegal mining.
It will definitely be illegal.
It's illegal mining.
And maybe even encroachment.
Yes.
And also...
It's illegal. So please,
They shouldn't
let's
joke
look at
with that river. They shouldn't.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I mean, it brings back the whole idea of these rivers or water bodies or natural resources being regarded as deities.
Yes.
Those were some of the things that sort of protected them from this. But now, you see, Nibiaba, so people are doing whatever they want. Those times, you couldn't just do anything to these water bodies or even these natural resources.
So even cut down a tree.
Yes,
you'd be scared.
you see. But now, look how it's really terrible, and it goes back down to the standard of living. If the standard of living was better, we wouldn't be facing issues like this.
I also think people need to be sensitized about the importance of water bodies, natural resources, because I don't think if you know the water you are destroying is the same water that is going to help you, I don't think you would just... No, people need to be sensitized.
Because
there should be that kind of education.
Even when gutters are put...
I have the graphic business. So let me give the graphic business.
You brought this issue
So
out.
let me give the graphic business.
Before you go, even gutters, when gutters are constructed, people connect their home pipelines to it. That in Sionebeko. So when they do things like they think the river is flowing. So when they are dumping refuse or doing all those more practices to the river, they think, it will go.
Cool.
But it doesn't. It pollutes the water. Our people know.
That is where the education should come in. Educate so it won't go.
Well,
So can I take you?
Please.
So we have the graphic business and online. I have to be displayed. The front page, it says make inflow process flexible and less costly. That is to Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
That is they are talking about the remittance from the foreign countries and our foreign business out there. It's whenever they invest and they want to bring the money into the country, sometimes it's very hard. The process involved is very hard. So it doesn't pass through the formal process where the Bank of Ghana would receive before getting it to whoever you're supposed to get to. So Bank of Ghana lose a lot in that process. So there's a financial advisor that is Yaolati, who was telling government or Bank of Ghana that they should make the process very flexible so that people will be willing to pass through the formal means for the money to come to Ghana. If not for that, we would end up losing a lot in the remittance sector.
Exactly.
Okay. So for this one, it's business.
I think he will bring us more.
Yes. We are hoping that you would
segment.
educate us more on your segment, right? So, do you have any more stories on yours?
No.
Okay.
That's all.
So, for my stories, there's no strike today, though.
Hallelujah.
So the first one says, the National Identification Authority suspends over 110,000 Ghana national ID cards due to duplicate registrations. So the National Identification Authority, NIA, has disclosed that over 110,000 Ghana cards are being held back due to duplicate registration problems. And despite successfully issuing more than 18 million cards to citizens, around 150,000 cards remain unprinted. During a parliamentary hearing, the NIA's Executive Secretary, Professor Kenneth Ajiman Atefua, revealed that probes into the double registration cases are underway, aiming to resolve the issue and to clear the backlog of pending cards. What could be causing this double registration?
You see, this raises concerns about efficiency and accuracy or accountability because to withhold 110,000 duplicate cards, I think is a very serious issue because why are we having this? Why have we even gotten to this point? It raises concerns about this. I mean, because I don't understand why we use a verification machine, yet people
There's
still
still-
have
yeah.
duplicates. Clement, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why have you gotten to this point?
And even for the requirements of getting a Ghana card, back then we used to hear something about guarantor, then there's something about bed set, then there's some. So maybe some people think, oh, maybe I use Mimi as my guarantor, and then
Yeah.
I go and find my bed set. So I say, okay, then let me come back and come in.
My,
What could those be some of the issues?
my issue is we all have unique fingerprints.
Yes.
That's where the verification
Yes,
issue comes.
yeah.
So, as Mimi said, I don't know
I
whether the
think
system,
there is a
whether the
problem.
system they
Okay.
used during that time was not networked. Because if it's networked and I register in Accra with my verification taken, and I go to Tamale to do the same thing, the system needs to signal that
be able
you have
to-
already
yeah.
registered.
Or it
And-
could also be that allegedly, I'm not accusing anybody. It could also be that some officials from the NIA are privately doing this and making money off of it.
Yeah, that is very possible.
Because that could be one of the major ways that a duplicate could occur, where they take money from people, they take money from them, then they remember that, oh, it's supposed to be free, and then they go and do it for free, or they did it for free and then they haven't gotten their cards. So they think that this illegal person that's doing it would be quicker.
Yeah.
Then the duplicate thing comes. It could be.
So I think this raised concern about our registration system in Ghana. It raised a
Yes,
huge concern.
digitalization
Yes,
system.
because I remember some years ago, Ghana card was going to be used for voting,
Yeah.
and the minority raised a lot of concern about
Yes.
it. It became a lot of issue.
Yeah.
So let's imagine if this Ghana card has been the voting requirement. Look at the number of duplication we have.
Yes.
Over 110,000
Yes.
are going to be, let's say, is it ghost names or whatsoever, part, double identity, part of this. And this is the only thing the NI has come out to say. We don't know about the rest.
The rest.
And
don't know
even
about
with,
the rest.
with this duplicating, our voters' ID even has a lot of that, the ghost
Yeah,
names and things.
yeah.
I remember seeing online, I think another country, at this time I won't mention the name, where you can clearly see the image is a child, but the person has been registered as a voter,
Wow.
just for rigging purposes. So you realize that I think people are just finding ways around this whole digital media thing to use it for their own benefit.
I also
So-
think NIA should come out and tell us the issues on the ground, be transparent about it. Maybe the verification machines they are using are outmoded. Maybe they need an upgrade.
But even if
That
it is
is-
outmoded, there is a data compilation.
Yes.
So
So,
whether
Yara-
outmoded or not, it would
because
still
that's
go
the
into
only
that
way we
whole
can detect if
file.
someone has already registered or not.
Or not. So that's the whole concern. That's the reason why I was like, I don't know
Yeah.
if the verification machines are not networked. Because if they are networked, then I register here, I go to Tamale. The system should be able to detect that, oh, you've already registered. And we are not
So-
going to register
And
you
then
again.
it goes back to their technical teams that
Yeah.
what coding or what necessary things that do they need to put in place to be
That
able
was
to
what
check
I wanted
these
to
things?
add because scammers each and every time are upgrading.
Yes.
They are learning on how to come and scam us, right? And so if you are in a digitalization, dispensation,
Yeah.
and then you are not upgrading, then you are going to be behind, right?
I don't know.
And they should also come out and tell people if, let's say, I've registered my card and I've not gotten it, you should be able to give me an information that says maybe you get it in few days or weeks so that I
Yeah.
know that, oh, okay, the card has gone through the process, I'll get it. But if you don't say anything to me and then I'm assuming that my card is not ready, I would have to register
There's this
a new one.
There's this system SNIT has. When you go to register and you don't get a SNIT number, it's not ready. They give you an interim number that you can
Yes,
still use
yes.
as your SNIT number. If our NIA can do something like that for the people who are registered, but they are yet to issue out cards, that, okay, this is a temporary number you can use in place of your Ghana card until you get it. When you get your Ghana card, then, you know, that number is invalid or something like that. Then we will not have this issue of people rushing to go and try to, because the Ghana card now has seemingly become our currency. You need it for everything. And a lot of people are not getting access to it. Some people have misplaced theirs and they want to get new ones or something of the sort. And then these are the issues here on ground. So what do we do?
Some should also, Clement, before you talk, some should also discard their old cards, because I know of a friend who had a mistake in her name and she went to do the correction. They gave her a new card and she still had the old card.
So sometimes she ends up using it.
You get it. So I think if you have the old card, just discard it, you know, destroy it, so that you just use one, so that your name doesn't
then
appear in the
also,
system.
this back to the system thing. If you've made corrections, then delete the information of the old one, you know, so that it is not going to be a valid card anymore. So even if the person just throws it out somewhere, whoever picks it and wants to use it for dubious means or something cannot use it. These are some of the things that we need to look at.
And Yara, I don't know, over the weekend there was issues about BVD machines of Electoral Commission missing. If you heard about that thing,
It was
verification. And assuming if this person or the person who took this device is using it for any other activities, what will happen to our elections? And a lot of concern has been raised about it.
EC also
That's one extent that Parliament are saying that they've sent to Parliament that they should look into such matters. Because if NIA is now telling us we have double registration of over 110,000, how sure are you about the Electoral Commission? So all these issues is like, I don't know, but it's also equally going to affect our elections that we need to look at very well before we go into these elections. But you see, it's an offense for an individual to register twice or to have two Ghana cards. Let me just quote, according to the National Identity Register Act 2008, Act 750, that was amended in Act 2017, Act 950. It states, according to Section 44 of the Act 750, it says that any person who unlawfully register or attempt to register for the Ghana card more than once, or who provides false information during registration process commits an offense.
Of course.
And this offense is punishable. And what you are going to pay is either imprisonment or penalty unit. And imprisonment, at least 2 years imprisonment. And in terms of penalty units, in Ghana, current penalty unit is around 12 Ghana cedis. And with regard to double registration, you'll be paying amounts close to 250 to 500 penalty units, which in terms of currency is 3,000 Ghana cedis to 6,000 Ghana cedis for double registration. I think NIA says they are still in the investigation process. Yes, we want to see the outcome of this investigation. Let's know that if such people are going to be imprisoned or they are going to be fined an amount of some penalty units for them to pay, so that people who have intention to do same would deter from such processes. I know that NIA will be starting new registration for those below 50 years just in September. So we pray that they should rectify all this issue so we wouldn't have issue of double registration again.
Okay, so we have a comment and it's from Rashid Bleobi from Oibi. He says, good morning to you all. Our data system in Ghana is very poor. The duplicate system is as a result of the system not being networked across the country. Greetings to your TV director, Mr. Randolph. Thank you very much, Mr. Rashid, for your comments. We really appreciate it. So moving to the next story, this one says, it's on my heart. This one says, over 15 WASSCE candidates nearly prevented from writing their social studies paper due to lateness. And it says here, over 15 students at the Osu Presbyterian Senior High School nearly missed their WASSCE social studies exam due to tardiness. A WAEC delegation led by Dr. Rosemond Wilson witnessed the incident, and the school headmaster, Vincent Isya, explained that these students have the habit of being late, citing no valid reasons. WAEC works with rules and regulations, and the rules are that students are to be seated 30 minutes before a paper, we already had a delay and we started the paper, and the students were now coming. They have no reason for coming late, and they are simply perpetual latecomers. And if you ask them, they will know, and if you ask them, you will know why they are late. And I will not allow anyone to breach the rules, especially if you don't have a specific reason or special reason, he added. So, students.
Yeah, you are. This story, as you said, is on your heart. Me, it is in my chest. It has entered my soul. I mean, I think we are in a country where the issue of tardiness or laziness or not being punctual is becoming a norm in our system, to the extent that
We have a term for it, Ghana man time.
African time, Ghana man time. It is normal to be late. And generally, I don't think it is just the students that, you know, are always late when it comes to attending classes, exam, and other things. Generally, at workplaces, everywhere, even church.
Yeah.
Yara, why are you looking at me like that? You see, this issue is a serious issue that we need to talk about it, because the issue of time, if we know the essence of time management.
Business will tell you that time is money.
I know you
Yes.
take us there. Time is money. So for about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. to see students, WASSCE students, now going to the exam hall,
Hey.
it is
For
very
me,
serious.
I even think that, I think corporal punishment, it's not like I'm a big fan of corporal punishment. I didn't like being lashed either. But it seems as though that means of
it's still some
disciplining
discipline.
students has been scrapped, and now they have become so, should I use the word lackadaisical? Yes.
Yes.
They are slacking. Because where is your sense of urgency? WASSCE. Something that
Your
this
life
is do or die.
depends on
And
it.
you're not.
No,
I
Yara,
mean, I used to be a perpetual late come out for school.
Confess.
Yes, I'll confess. But WASSCE, I was a day student as well. You won't come early. Hey.
WASSCE.
Like, what are you even doing at home?
so the whole issue is, I wouldn't take it as far. It's bounce back to our education system. That is the whole issue. It's a whole issue because the students now don't see the essence of WASSCE. They don't put any priority. They don't see why they should do that. So, you know that whether he passed or
not,
he doesn't,
he will still
he will
get-
still
He's
get.
not
So
even
why
going
should I?
anywhere.
Why should I worry myself?
But you
it's-
see, these students, our time, especially when it's WASSCE time, that sense of urgency even the teachers had, knowing that they will lash you. I mean, you can take all the lashes for the other times in the time, but when it's time for WASSCE, you have that.
Put
Yeah,
WASSCE
not
aside.
WASSCE,
Even normal
exams.
days.
Normal
like,
class
I attended
test.
Achimota Basic School. Normal days. We used to have one wiki teacher. I won't mention his name. Normal days, so 5 minutes late, 10 minutes
Right?
late. You either pick around the compound.
those kinds of
you know,
punishments, you sweep or
you
run around
kneel,
the football park.
You kneel down because I cherish my body. I didn't want to. I will always make sure I
Mimi
get.
the mermaid. Yes.
You know, there should always be a reason why you're acting, you know,
Yeah.
the way you are. I always didn't want to, you know, be found wanting. So anytime I make sure that I'm in class on time, not to talk of
WASSCE.
something you've suffered
Right?
throughout your education, your basic education.
Your door to freedom, university life, and then you are rather
They didn't
taking it for granted.
But you see, when I was talking about generalizing it, I think some people also raise concerns on economic pressure because they have to juggle, you know, so many jobs at a go, and so they are not able to get to.
No, Mimi.
The students.
I'm talking for some group of
from-
people.
No, you
But
see, in this story here, they said the students is almost they come to school late.
Oh,
they
for all
have
you
no
know,
reason.
they do other businesses.
No, Mimi.
The headmaster himself said it.
He
that they
doesn't
don't
stay
have
with them
any
in the house.
No,
You see, let's call a spade a spade.
right.
Let Mimi stop.
I'm not defending them. It's just the reality. For all you know, me, Achimota School, right? It wasn't really a walking distance from my house to school. Though I always try to get to school early, there are days you'll be late because of the distance.
Yes, but you see, as you even mentioned that people are juggling things, the things you are juggling, when you know the value, you would do the needful.
Yes.
Fine. Those of us who used to come to school late, I think back in primary school especially, I had issues at home where my brother would be throwing my shoes somewhere, I have to look for it and things like that. But that's even a different issue. When we got to JHS and things were better. When we got to SHS too, at least for WASSCE, we knew, I was a day student, I knew that, okay, if you wake up by 4, you set off from the house by 5:30, you will get to school by 6.
Yeah.
Because at that time, the rush hour hasn't started. And how different is that from today? That these students, justify your inclusion of final one, and you have no reason, you are just coming to school late. If they knew they would even get some 6 lashes, do you think they wouldn't have tried to be more proactive or something?
So there are the issue, as I said, it's all bounce about our education system. They need to look at it very well. We don't want to experience such incidents again. Because as you said, over the years, if let's put the fact that your mom is paying your school fees, you have it at the back of your mind that mom or dad is suffering to pay my fees.
Yeah.
That kind of thought at the back of your mind alone would push you to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But now, looking at how the education system is good, someone is paying your school fees. But the question is, what value have you placed on that? We have made that thing so normal, and there's no value again.
Yeah.
I was speaking with one of my colleagues over the weekends. He happens to be a lecturer at one of the university, and he told me, Clement, when the student comes to university for the first time, when you ask them to do something, I say, on one course school. He made a statement that, so is that what are being produced?
Yeah.
I just have to keep quiet. What am I trying? I'm trying to say that let us work on our education system very well, and let's bring back that kind of, I don't know how to, but
There's still some discipline in
yes, we should.
some
We
sense
should.
of urgency.
We should.
I also,
because if not for that, they would graduate all right, but
just as I said, they are going to take it to their workplaces,
Yes,
occasions,
yes.
even on their wedding day, they'll be late.
They call it fashionably
you
late.
see, you see, I also want to add one thing, that teachers need to also place emphasis on the importance of time management when they are teaching these kids. Just as you are saying, they need to place value on their education. They need to understand that it doesn't just end here. Whatever we are teaching you, it is not just in the four corners of the classroom. It goes out outside beyond the classroom, right? Time management is going to go a long way to affect or influence your life at your job place, wherever you find yourself. You should be known for that. And it is something that I think a lot of employers also look out for, how punctual you are. And that is why we even have a logbook out there where a lot of people lie, about their time. But God is just watching all of us.
So we have a comment here. He says, good morning to you all. My name is Abraham Pojokiriku from Amahia Katamanso Road, Prestige. Just trying to ask if we are going to vote with the Ghana card or the ID card. I'm not getting it at all. Please, I want to know. Thanks. The Ghana card has not been approved for voting, so it is still the voter's ID card. And I think we have another one. He says sometimes this late examination hall or centers is as a result of last-minute appall.
Oh, it's very true.
The Akufo-Addo government has restricted schools not to cane. So where lies the discipline? Look, Yaira, in juxtaposition, let us reset the country come December 7. This is from Rashid Blelby.
The reset, I know where the person is coming from. And the other party is also saying it is not about resetting, it is upgrading. So they are going to upgrade.
My last story before you wrap up. This one says, Ghana's renal patients urge affordable dialysis as NDC promises to increase access with new centers. So the Renal Patients Association of Ghana is calling on all political parties to make dialysis treatments more affordable and accessible across the country. While welcoming the National Democratic Congress's promise to build modern dialysis centers in underserved regions, the association's spokesperson Kojo Ahinkra stressed that reducing the exorbitant costs of dialysis treatment must be a top priority. He urged politicians to focus on making dialysis care more affordable for all, regardless of location or financial means. And I quote, he says here, it has become a big challenge for the patients. I mean, some travel far and near to come to get treatment at Kolebu, and it is a big challenge. I have 2 patients and we have just lost one in May. She was commuting from Begor in the eastern region twice a week to Kolebu to have her dialysis, and she did that for 10 years before she passed on.
Very sad.
So, what I would say is, this is just a promise from a political party.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't like to say much because it's a promise. Anything can happen. They can come to power and say that we said, but we can't do it again. So I just don't want to talk much into that. But the fact from the association or the patients concerned, it's very true. Because over the weekend, I was listening to one of the media houses and they interviewed the president. And he raised a concern that, yes, people travel all the way. A week, they have to come to Accra twice for treatment. And it's very, very costly. So they should really look at it for them. So I think the government should look into that issue for them, even before the voting day. For other governments to look at it, yes.
So this comes back to even the improving on the old. We have a few dialysis centers. Why don't we create more? Then if that is used as a promise, we know it is upgrading. We know it is something that we are continuing. It's not a new thing because lives are at stake. Somebody traveling twice a week.
And I was talking about the issue of politicians, understanding the needs of people, not the wants. These are some of the needs of the people. And assuming a politician helps one person, and that person has a family, definitely they are all going to be influenced by the decision or the help they got from the politician. And you don't even need to tell them to vote for you. They are going to vote for you. So I think they need to look into that, add that to their policies. Because this year we saw concerns being raised about this issue, and also government tried its best to, come to their aid, but they can also do more.
Thank you so much for yet another extensive discussion. So we have a last minute comment. This one, I'll read it. God bless you so much for such a wonderful show. It's not easy for me. How to even feed the family is a problem. My mom is on pension. Please. Oh, okay. So, okay, we will contact you later. This is from King David. Yes, so this brings us to the end of our online news review with Mr. Clement and Miss Miriam. And this conversation, as always, is always enriching, expanding our minds. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Next is the lifestyle segment. And I know that hypertension has become very, very rampant in our society nowadays. But do we really know the lifestyle changes we are supposed to employ or emulate? If not, if yes, and we want to learn more, call your friend, call your brother, call your sister, tell them to tune in, because Miriam Abnadidi and her guest will be educating us on the appropriate lifestyle changes to mitigate the issue of hypertension in our society. We'll be right back.